Yo, welcome back to the Sunday prep session where I aim to prepare myself and you guys for the coming week. My bad if there's a bit of an echo in the room right now. But anyway, let's begin. This is a shorter video today, but I've passed now my 3 trade day evaluations. So this one's done, hit the profit target, managed to do all the objectives. Day trade, the consistency, profit target, for that. And then for these two, I was copy trading these two, but we are literally on, well, we're at day 4. We have 1 day left, but we're over the profit target. We're 3,052 over the profit target. And I think this one is 3,000, maybe 60? No, 49. So $50 over the profit target. So we've passed 3 accounts. These will be ready to trade next week. And yeah, nice. So finally, fully funded with Trade Day. We've been working towards this for the past 2 weeks. I managed to get one account, blew it, and then I had to go again for another account, which is this account here. I'm actually going to be revealing how I plan to maintain these accounts kind of going forward and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's 3 accounts that we're going to start next week. Monday is President's Day, so there's actually markets will be closing early. I'm not actually going to be trading on Monday. I'm only going to be flipping these accounts. So I'm literally just going to be flipping one micro to pass the account. I can lose up to $50. And that's it. Account will still be passed. So, I mean, I'm not going to try to lose $50. I'll probably lose like 10, 5 to 10, if anything. But yeah, so let's go over the economic news for the week. Nothing really of concern I'm looking out for. We have FOMC minutes, but we had FOMC a couple weeks ago. The minutes are just the notes from the meeting, so it's nothing that's going to be too crazy for the market. We have, this is GBP, so UK. The only thing to be kind of concerned about is core PCE index. So basically, this is when it's going to decide whether the Feds are going to bring down interest rates or not. So yeah, we're going to be looking out for this on Friday at 1:30 to see how the market kind of reacts to that, and we go from there. Anyway, if you want to join the Discord, I post everything in the Discord. All my trade reviews, all my breakdowns are in Discord for the week. Um, the link is in the bio for it. I've literally set this up so the Trading Munchie Discord. I do alert trade sometimes as well. So if I do alert anything, it will be in a Discord. And it's not to be copied or followed. It's basically just to say what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing, etc., etc. So, these are the trades I'll be taking and kind of why I be taking them and things of that nature. So, of course, CBC is short. We pull back to the EMAs. I took it short and we made money on that. So we're banking. So if you want to join the Discord, the link is in the bio. We have a discount out at the moment for February. So literally a week left, and then the price will be going back up to $135. Right now it's about $75. And of course, it's all things to do trading, investing. So of course, if you want an intraday trade, there's a space for you there. If you want to learn options, there's a space for you there. And then long term, there's a space for you here. And then I'm building this from the ground up. So, we have a library. There's books in here, things to ask questions and things of that nature. So yeah, that's the Discord. If you want to join it, link is in the bio. Any questions, just let me know in the comments. But let's begin. Let's prepare ourselves for the week and see what we're looking at. So we came into this on a 30-minute chart. So just as a broad overview quickly. We sold off previous week, right? And hit our demand zone. So of course these levels aren't, created today. It hit this zone and then we literally bounced out of it. I was actually expecting, I drew these midweek, I think, because of how price was moving. I actually anticipated price to come back up here, and I even set an alert to kind of hit this level. And I was anticipating that price would hit this level. We got very close on Wednesday, and we never actually came back, and I was very surprised. Thursday, again, we almost came back to that level, and I was expecting us to tap into this level and reject, but we never actually got it. So my thing now is, and of course I've been drawing these zones intraday to kind of see how price action has been moving. But my concern, if we ever do get back to 25, 500 levels, which is up here, 25, 480, this 500 level, my initial thing is, of course, I want to take shorts in this area. So if we hit this, I'm going to be looking for shorts either here, somewhere in this area, because it's just like, it is an area of interest for me. We just haven't tapped it. But when we get close, I'm going to see how we react to it anyway. So again, coming into this week, into this fresh week, we know that it's President's Day and stuff. So this is the orbs. We can clear this set. Um, we know it's President's Day on Monday, so I'm actually not looking for anything price action wise on Monday. I'm just going to be following um, the system, CBC, and moving accordingly. So it's just like coming into, let's look at Thursday actually. Thursday is interesting. Thursday we just sold off, and then Friday we didn't do a whole lot. I missed this trade on Friday, which I was so annoyed about, but it's all good. CBC flipped. Uh, I'm bugging. This is the 30-minute. We need to flip down to the 10-minute. So prior to the open, CBC was short. Problem is, it was going sideways. Price was going sideways. So if we have a run up into the open or a run down into the open, it's unlikely that I'm going to be looking for us to continue in that direction. We was just moving sideways and we just continued going shorter. I managed to actually take very good trades on this day, um, following the system. So when I went down to the 3-minute chart, um, no, it wasn't that day, it was Friday actually, but never mind. Um, but yeah, still, I managed to take some really good trades on this day, following the price action, kind of what was happening. In these kind of areas, the way I like to look at supply and demand is very interesting. So if price comes into my zone, my area of interest, I'm looking to take price back up. So if we come here, I'm looking to enter here for price to move back up here. Alternatively, I'm looking for price to come here and move back up here. Or I'm looking for price to come down here and then move back up here. And what we've seen is basically price does give short-term reversals into those areas. You can't be holding and expecting price to, continue forever, right? So if you did tap in here, price gave you 45 points. It doesn't look like much, but that's a lot of money. That's all 800 and something dollars, $900 on one contract. So it's just like that's a lot of money, but you have to not be greedy and you have to understand where we are in relation to price. Meaning we are below CBC, I mean we are below VWAP and we are below the EMAs. Same thing here. If you was to enter probably just under here, you have some wick resistance. That's 15, that's 20 points. So you probably would have gotten stopped out. But nonetheless, it gave you an opportunity for again 42 points. 800 something dollars on one contract. But again, in relation to what price is doing, CBC is short on a 10 and EMAs are bearish. So technically, we shouldn't be looking for shorts. Problem is, you wouldn't want to chase short here. You'd want to get short back close to the EMAs as possible. Only problem is we went sideways, and then if this happened, because was it Thursday? No, I think it was Friday. Something similar to this happened. I'll show you actually. So something similar to that happened on Friday where I was actually stopped out of a trade because price, where was it? It wasn't later in the day. It was, I cannot remember. I have a video. I put the video on YouTube, and we'll link it in the comments. So yeah, I will link it to let you see the video. But it was essentially exactly what I said here. So um, price was below. I was looking for shorts, and then it came up, stopped me out, came up, stopped me out, and then I had to enter short, like pretty much down here for us to continue lower, because I kept getting stopped out in this. So you just have, and then of course we could have bounced in this area and then continued higher, and then it would have been another loss. But we follow price action, so to kind of mitigate things like this, it's just like if you take a stop out and um, if you get stopped out, it's just trying not to enter a trade again too quickly. It's just waiting for, look at this rejection here, but we pull back up again. So it's just waiting for that. And especially if we flipped CBC here, it's just like waiting for a 3 minutes flip. So if this flips here outside of the EMA, the EMAs are still bearish, then on the next candle, you can then take your short trade and then you can stay in the trade for as long as can, of course, taking points off at each interval, as price is actually moving. So Thursday was a good day. Friday, not so much. Like you just get a lot of wick action. Like this kind of barcoding action is not favorable price action. And this is why I say on Friday you size down, you take your money early, whether you get $200, $400, be done for the day. Don't try and, hit home runs because it doesn't usually work out in your favor and stuff like that. So, follow CBC as well as you can, and yeah, stick to the script, is the motto. What else was I was looking at something else and I wanted to say something else. I can't remember. But anyway, let's go over the price action from the week and then see what happened. So, like this, Monday, this is what I mean. Like we selling off into the open. It's not the most favorable setup to continue for continuation shorts. So selling off into the open, we actually get a push down. It doesn't hit this zone. Like I would have liked it to hit this area before I took an entry. We never got it, but CBC flipped strong outside this wick, as well as CBC flipping strong outside of the EMAs, is an indication that price is likely to go higher. So we just have to follow CBC on that occasion. So if we mark this out, if we mark this, oh crap, 1 second. If we mark this area out, what you can see, was it on Monday? Yes, that was on Monday. I need my mouse. I will have my mouse soon. Okay, so flipped long, bullish on the 10 minute. Price pushes up. Problem, there's two things I'll be looking out for or kind of most concerned about here is price pushing up. So if you miss this, because it doesn't give a pullback to the EMAs, if you miss this, I would actually take a short in this area because this is supply, but then I would be looking to take profits into the EMAs, right? So if we enter here, and that gives 75 points, that's $3,000 on two contracts. That's it even goes down even more. This week lower this week is 91 points. That's a lot of money. So it's like if I'm taking my entry, at this resistance, this supply right here, I'm aiming for 25, 30, 40 points, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be chasing waterfalls. And then the problem with this flipping, the way it flips is that it's into the EMAs, into bullish EMAs, and then we get bought right back up. And then this would be frustrating, very frustrating for traders, is in that we're moving sideways for a second. So the way to kind of mitigate that is having your stop loss below this level, because if price pushes down here, it's likely that we're going to continue further down, right? It means it's a failed CBC, just like this one failed. But it means that buyers have exhausted, and now sellers are in control, and they're likely to bring the price right down here. But EMAs have maintained, and we push up again. Target would be here, target would be here, a target would be here. And then as you're trailing, you would probably get stopped out here and miss this move up to here. But if you don't, kudos to you. And if you held probably too high of day, this was a very good trending day. Pulled back to the EMAs, another buying opportunity, pulled back to the EMAs, another buying opportunity. So this would all just be, especially a lot of people that wanted to chase shorts. So thinking we're at the high right now, this has to pull back. And given if you enter up here, you get 19 points, 20 points. That's like $400 on a contract. So there is opportunities there. You just can't time the top and you can't time the bottom. So following the system is that's why following the system is there, so we don't have to predict or time, etc., etc. And let's go back to the 10-minute. So that was a good example. Let's talk about why this one semi-fails. So looking at this one, this is on Wednesday. So looking at this one, so CBC, right, is bullish. We get into the EMAs, we hit VWAP, we kind of dance around barcoding, and then we flip outside of the EMAs. We don't break this pivot. It's just before this pivot. Why did we not get continuation? Like, why did we not get continuation? So something I'm looking at in this regard is, one second. The reason we didn't get a continuation, and of course, this pulled back. So this actually offered 29 points. So still good money if you took it. The problem is, if you miss this and then you try to go and get it back here, now it breaks this pivot. It breaks this one, doesn't break this one, but it gets very close and buys just basically just pick price back up and we continue pushing up. And it's not always going to work out. You just have to think like these candles are not always going to work out. So if you took a pullback here, because the candle opened here, closed here, so it opened here and it pushed down. So if you took this next trade on this candle opening, probably pushed up a little bit and then pushed down and before going up here and closing, you just have to take profit when it's available, and you can't just always hope that it's going to continue and get continuation. Like I know the strategy is a momentum based strategy and you're looking for continuation. It just doesn't always happen the way you think is going to happen. So good price action. Volatility, I believe, is back in the markets. What I would say, and kind of what I'm kind of telling myself as well, is that we don't need to be greedy in our endeavors when it comes to trading in the markets. And taking profits regularly is something that we should all be doing. So whether it's 10 points, 15 points, make sure you're taking some off. And if you're not comfortable with the volatility, make sure you're trading micros. And that's it. I'm going to leave it there. We've had a good week in the markets past the 3 accounts with Trade Day. So I will be looking to activate all of those accounts next week, Tuesday, and maybe get some more to have as backups. We will see. But I will leave it there and I will catch you in the next one.